The Nigerian insurance industry has faced a unique set of challenges in recent years. Today, we'll be speaking with an analyst in the Nigerian insurance sector to get insights on the industry's performance and future outlook. We'll delve into topics such as the impact of macroeconomic headwinds, potential for growth, regulatory changes, and building trust with customers. Joining me for more on this is Ayokunle Olubunmi, Head Financial Institutions Ratings at Augusto & Co. Thank you, Ayokunle, for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Perpetua. Good morning.
Good morning to you too. Well, let's just start with this. Would you say the industry has demonstrated any form of resilience so far amid prevailing macroeconomic headwinds? Did you get that, Ayokunle? Okay, Ayokunle, if you can hear me, I was asking your thoughts on, the industry performance so far. Do you see any form of resilience, especially looking at the prevailing macroeconomic headwinds that we have seen so far in the year coming from last year, 2023? All right, so if you can hear me, I was asking you what you think about the industry, really. Do you think it has demonstrated any form of resilience so far, especially looking at the prevailing macroeconomic headwinds that we have seen coming from last year into this year?
Oh, thank you very much. I think the industry has been resilient. If you look at our 2024 Augusto & Co. Insurance Industry Report, you realize that the macroeconomic environment has actually been challenging. GDP growth were at 2.7% last year, or just slightly above the 2.5% population growth rate. Inflation at 25% was also at historical high, right? However, notwithstanding these challenges, and even coupled with what we are seeing in the lingering liquidity in the foreign exchange markets, notwithstanding this, the industry continued its growth by double digits last year, and actually even exceeded the 1 trillion mark in terms of the GPI. GPI and industry grew to about 1.3 trillion last year, right? Notwithstanding these macroeconomic shocks and even challenges that we have seen.
Well, when you say that the GPI actually increased, it was above 1 trillion now, but then you also look at the fact that industry benefited from high interest rate environment and significant foreign exchange gains from, investments in Eurobonds, foreign currency placements, and USD mutual funds. I mean, these trends do not seem to go away anytime soon, or do they?
Yeah, I agree with you, because the industry last year, they didn't only grow the GPI, the investment return also increased significantly. Don't forget that the equity markets provided significant return last year, and with the CBN getting more commencing with tightening stance, right? Interest rate also soared. Right, so definitely the industry performed well last year, and the return on investments increased by 500 basis points to 12.2%. And in 2024, we expect the performance to also be better. Although the depreciation that we are expecting this year will not be as steep as that of last year, we believe that the CBN will continue its tightening stance that will support the industry's investment income. And we expect the average return on investment to be at a minimum of 14% in 2024.
But be that as it may, insurance penetration in Nigeria is still less than 1%. So what is responsible for this? And are there policies or actions we expect either from the industry players or even the government, to sort of spur interest in this particular industry?
I agree with you that notwithstanding the performance that we saw last year, the insurance penetration is actually even good. And if notwithstanding, and another one of the reasons why the industry recorded such a growth in GPI is also because of the potentials that exist in the industry. And I agree with you, there are a lot of reasons why we have insurance penetration that low in Nigeria, one of the lowest in Africa, right? First has to do with defective religious beliefs. Some people believe that once you subscribe to insurance, you are inviting evil to come, or it means that you are prophesying that you are going to actually even have that risk. Also, the level of awareness about insurance is low in Nigeria, even among the educated populace. You'll be surprised when you talk to people that you think that they are educated. You'll be shocked by what they know about insurance, and a lot of them don't really have a good grasp of what insurance entails, what it doesn't entail. The declining consumer purchasing power can also not be It's also one of the major reasons why we can see that insurance penetration is still low in Nigeria. Then also bad experience that some people have had with insurance, either themselves or their friends that they've had with insurance companies over the years, and even deter them from even taking up insurance policies. On what to expect to improve this, currently Nikon is leading a campaign for people to understand what insurance is about, particularly in areas where insurance adoption is quite low. Also, each individual insurance company, you see that a lot of them are bringing in new products to cover some risks that some people have not even covered before. What you've also seen is that a lot of insurance companies are also working on their distribution channels. I could say authoritatively that almost all, if not almost all insurance companies are working on some digital solution to help them to distribute their products. The micro insurance will also help, because micro insurance is simply an insurance that is for insuring low valued assets, right? And even enable people to pay their premium instrumentally. And that window has been open to all insurance companies. So those will actually even help in improving the insurance penetration in Nigeria.
All right, I want to take us back to what we talked about earlier, talking about the GPI. Now, the uptick in the industry's premium was driven by premium rate adjustments on policies such as fire and good in transit. And we also remember the increase in NICOM's third-party insurance for private vehicles from 5,000 naira to 15,000 naira, and also an increase in comprehensive insurance cover. Now, this speaks to strong regulatory support. Now, beyond this kind of support, don't you think it's also important to get Nigerians to actually trust insurance and desire insurance? What actions are being taken to get this to work?
I agree with you. A lot of Nigerians, is either they are not aware about insurance, or a lot of them have a bad perception on what insurance is and what insurance is not. Like I mentioned earlier, right, Nikon is leading a campaign to ensure that, look, people even understand what insurance entails. But I also believe that insurance companies also have the duty of educating their customers, educating the populace about what insurance covers, what insurance does not cover, what it entails, the basic principles of insurance, how to get your claim right, and if you have issues, how you can get it resolved. Shall I say that unfortunately, the way insurance companies are scrutinizing claims now, because like we all know, in the period of macroeconomic headwinds, right, fraudulent claims tend to increase. So the way they are scrutinizing claim can even result in more Nigerians having a bad perception about insurance. But I agree with you, a lot of things needs to be done to ensure that Nigerians have more faith in insurance and insurance products.
Well, I think a lot of work, maybe the insurers need to do more work, because when you talk about health insurance, a lot of persons know about it, even though a good number of the people who have signed up for it are it's probably their companies that did it for them. But then, you just know that people are aware, they want to do it. Some persons just do not have the money. And I think that's because they can see it's work. So shouldn't these insurers also ensure that people see their money's work? When it's time for claims, you don't tell stories. Because, I've interviewed some persons and they tell me that certain things they didn't even know on the point of signing up, they get to know those things when it's time for claims. And then they're telling you to bring one form and one other thing. And then you're wondering, this wasn't communicated earlier. So, shouldn't we tell them to even do better, to do more, to train even their FAs, their financial advisors and all of that, to say the right things to people?
I agree with you, and I think this is one area where the new Nikon management might need to look at. I agree with you, because like I said earlier, a lot of us in Nigeria, we don't understand insurance, what it entails and what it doesn't entail. And I think from the point of even selling that particular product, right, the financial advisor, like you mentioned, or even the broker in that case, needs to tell Nigerians, needs to tell the insured what it covers and what it does not cover. Because some of us, when we're even taking up insurance policy, we don't even have a full grasp about what it covers and what it does not cover. And that's why at times some people prefer going through a broker. Because when you have an insurance broker, you explain to the insurance broker your insurance need, right? And he can even recommend the appropriate policy. But I agree with you, this is an area in which the industry needs to work on significantly if you want to see a significant improvement in insurance penetration.
All right, back to your outlook. Your outlook is quite positive based on some of the factors that we've talked about. But what about, don't you see any negative impact from declining consumer purchasing power? I mean, I know on the one hand, the headwinds has its gains, but then what about this part of it?
Yes, definitely there's no industry, there's no sector that can continuously outperform the macroeconomic environment where you're operating. And the insurance industry itself is not left out. Because despite the growth that was recorded last year, if you ask a lot of insurance players, they will tell you that the policy counts that we have, the growth there significantly was below their expectation or the projection for the year. So in terms of the premium, because of the growth in the premium rates helped to even support the growth. However, if you look at the policy count, the number of policies that were actually even written is quite even low compared to what the projection was at the beginning of the year. So definitely the macroeconomic environment is affecting the insurance industry. And we believe that that's even the reason why the industry's growth is a bit quite limited. Because when you have low consumer purchasing power, you will notice that, look, a lot of people will be finding it difficult to even pay for policies. And don't forget that what we've seen also is that people are also trying to reduce their expenditure on things that they perceive as luxury. Unfortunately, a lot of Nigerians still see the insurance as a luxury and not a necessity that they can actually even use.
All right, thank you. Ayakunle Olubunmi, Head Financial Institutions Ratings, Augusta & Co. Thank you for your time on the show today. Do have a pleasant day.